Hey y'all, I'm Tammy, and this is Collard Valley Cooks. Today we are cooking out of the third cookbook and making a recipe the whole family will love, and that's taco skillet. Boy, is it good served up with some tortilla chips, or maybe even in a taco salad shell with some lettuce on the bottom. Okay, we're going to start this recipe off by chopping up our onion and bell pepper. I've actually already got my ground beef browned, so I'm just going to saute these in a little bit of butter, and then we'll add them to the skillet with the beef, okay? So I actually had a couple of onion that had portions left, and they're perfect for doing this today. And we've got bell pepper out of the garden, so that makes it nice too. You're going to chop a medium onion. And we're going to chop a little bell pepper. It's so nice to be getting fresh vegetables out of the garden this time of year. And some of y'all live in areas where it's way too early for you guys to start getting stuff. Some of you are just now planting. But down here in the south, in the southern Georgia, we're actually getting our vegetables in. It's nice. So we'll be using a bell pepper from the garden today and a tomato from the garden today in our delicious taco skillet. All right. If you want to know why I kind of quit talking about Rada knives as much as I used to, it's because the original Rada knife had a handle like this that was silver, and it was a straight handle. And now they have an Anthem handle, and they've always had this cook's knife and the Anthem handle. But my favorite was the French chef knife with the Anthem handle. And because I couldn't refer y'all to buy the chef knife, I was referring y'all to buy other chef's knives. But now they have this handle back. I like this handle much better because the grip on it is much easier than a straight handle like this. Now, when we were growing up, Mama's knives looked just like this, except they were silver and they weren't dishwasher safe. Now they make these black handles that are. So now that they have this Anthem handle back in the chef's knife, that's why I've started talking about Rada again, if you're wondering. And right now you can get a coupon code off of our homepage of the website to buy these Anthem handle knives, and they're my favorite out of all of them. While I'm talking about my knives, I wanted to show you guys where I keep my knives. They're right next to my cutting board on my work table in the drawer. And these little wood dividers are wonderful to keep your knives in if you don't have a lot of room on your kitchen counter. I just absolutely love them. All right, I'm going to use this iron skillet. Since our ground beef is already browned and drained, we're just going to add a little butter to the skillet. Once you got enough in there to saute your vegetables, you can take it out if you want. Or if you want the butter in your taco skillet, you can leave it in there. Let's leave it in there since our ground beef is browned already. And now we're going to add our onion and pepper. That was a lot of onions and peppers, so it's probably good we did add that extra butter in there. Now let's get them all buttered up. Mix them around in that butter. Spread them out, and you're going to cook these until they're soft and delicious. I don't tell you to put any garlic in this, but if you want to add some garlic, you can. Okay, you're going to need a pound of ground beef, and we've got that already browned. You're going to need 6 ounces of Mexican shredded cheese, some green chilies. You can use the can of green chilies, like the 4-ounce can. You're going to need garlic powder, cumin, sour cream, a can of refried beans, and it's just a 16-ounce can, and a small can of sliced black olives This is a 3-ounce can. Just a 3 or 4 ounce can is fine. And you're going to drain these. So while those peppers are getting soft, we're just going to open up our refried beans. And that is a commercial type can opener. It's my favorite. It's real easy to use and easy on the hands if you have arthritis. This is a very simple, easy recipe. And let's go ahead and drain these. All right, we're going to open these. This has just got a pop top in it. Hold this up here. And if you don't have a set of strainers, you can pick these up at the grocery store or Walmart for nearly nothing. And boy, do they come in handy when you're cooking. So you really need to have a set of 3 different sizes. Now all of our ingredients are out, and we're going to be using a tomato. We can go ahead and slice that up. So if you cut it this direction, I guess because you can cut in between where some of the seeds are, it tends to leak less if you're going to put it in a salad or something. But today we are going to chop it for the top of our salad. And this is a tomato knife, and it works like a charm. I do not put this in the dishwasher at all. And this is just a regular straight handle Rata knife. So you could prep your vegetables while you're waiting on that beef to brown and those vegetables to get tender. So you want to get you a little tomato, and you also want to get a little bit of lettuce. While you're doing your prepping, always turn around and make sure you stir your beef and vegetables. And like I said, my beef's already browned today. I'm going to go ahead and add it in here so it'll be warm. Now this is more than a pound, so I'm going to add enough that I think it's a pound. I'll go ahead and let it start warming up. All right, we're going to add a half teaspoon of garlic powder, and this is Badea roasted garlic powder. Going to add a half teaspoon of ground cumin. And then I'm going to use a half teaspoon of chili powder. I just bought this. I took a knife and cut the top right in the center and then peeled this off so that when I get my powder out of there, I can flatten the teaspoon like that. Just a tip. Now we're going to stir those in there really good. I mixed all in the beef. Do a good job because you don't want somebody, because you're going to eat it right out of the skillet, and you don't want somebody to get all of the spices in one spot. So no matter who gets the serving, you want them to have a little bit of all of that. So really press it down in there with your spoon and mix it good. All right, now we're going to add our chilies, and I drained them. And if you want to, you can use jalapenos. And our refried beans are going in. And you're going to let these warm and stir them in the beef good. So just kind of cut them up. And while you're waiting on these to warm and just make sure it's on a low temperature. You can put a lid on it if you want to. And then go over there and chop up your lettuce for your taco skillet if you want to. I'm going to serve it with a little lettuce today. You don't have to use lettuce. You can just use chips. Or you can put it in a taco shell. So you want to make sure those peppers get everywhere too. So I'm just going to let this heat up, and then we'll be able to stir in the beans better. And since I didn't have much juice in the chilies, I'm going to add just a little bit of water. I didn't have a can of chilies, so I just got them out of a container. It needs a little bit of moisture in there because you want it to be like a dip. All right, I have got a new head of lettuce, so we're going to rinse it really good before we chop it. I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the end of this and you're going to beat it on something hard, like the countertop. And then you're going to take your thumb and you're going to pull out that core like that. And then you're going to loosen up the leaves. Like so. And then you're going to rinse it really good. Now, if you have a salad spinner, you can spin it out. Spin out all of the water. Now I'm just going to flip it over and let it drain. And then we'll cut a little bit before we eat our salad. Okay, I forgot to turn my video camera on, so I am using a previous video and just showing you to make sure you mix up your beans and your meat and all your spices really good with your chilies. And then you're just going to top it with your sour cream. And that's 3/4 cup of sour cream. Just spread it all over there. Then top it with your tomatoes and your olives. And last but not least, of course, your delicious cheese. Put a lid on it. And then when everything melts, you can serve it. All right, we're going to put some chips in the air fryer. And these are going to bake at 350 degrees for just about 3 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes is all it needs. Enough to get them hot. And our cheese is starting to melt. I did have to turn it back on just a little bit to get it to melt completely. You just got to be careful and make sure that skillet's on a low heat so that you don't scorch your beans on the bottom. And I'm just going to slice some lettuce real thin to serve alongside of my taco skillet dish. And then I'll let this lettuce finish draining and put it in the refrigerator. It'll be good and crispy for a salad when we get ready to eat it. This is going to be delicious, y'all. And I went ahead and added the tomatoes today on the top of it just because I thought it would be pretty. So let's take a look at our taco skillet. Oh yes, that looks delicious and cheesy. And I'm telling you, everybody's going to love it. You can have it done so fast, especially if you've already browned your ground beef and put it in the freezer. That makes it even quicker. And some of you do that. You get it on sale and you go ahead and brown it. You can even brown it with the peppers and onions in it, drain it, and put them in freezer bags, flatten them out flat, lay them on top of each other. And boy, does that make for a fast dinner when you've been working all day. All right, we're going to get us some out and put it in our bowl. Get you some chips. All right, we're going to put a little lettuce in the bowl with it. And get a bite, y'all. These are thin chips. Yummy. Yummy's right. It is delicious. And I promise this will be a regular dish that the family's going to ask for all the time. They'll say, Mama, make that taco skillet. Daddy, will you get in there and make that taco skillet? We will see you next time. Cooking like Mama did. And remember, this is in our 3rd cookbook. Bye, y'all. We love you.